Hello and welcome once again to the Useless Ideas podcast. I am Matthew Churchill. This is Curtis Smith. I'm pointing at him and you can't see him.
Sup? I'm here now.
Yep, we are here now, today, and yesterday, and tomorrow, and every other time.
My hand hurts.
My ankle sometimes hurts.
No, but I slammed my hand on a machine at work. It wasn't fun.
I don't know what I did, but I
Because
feel
like trying to get a rock out of the track of this machine. So I go to this big ass bar, to bring the machine out, and I just turn my hand in the wrong way like an idiot and smash it off the machine. So that feels unpleasant. Of course, that has to happen on a Friday at like 20 after 4 when I just want to go home.
Don't you mean 420?
Thank you for your contribution. Yeah. Sure, 420.
Anyways, just before we get any further, for you who don't remember or don't know, I think we said this before, but we live in the province of Ontario in
We do.
Canada.
That's where that is. It is Canada.
And,
Got a polar bear outside, that's how you can tell it's Canada.
yeah, and we all live in igloos, and...
Yeah, hell yeah.
And Wolverine is just standing outside, just like, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. I brought my polar bear to come over to your house today, or your igloo.
Yeah. So yeah, because of that, this coming Thursday...
It's 5 days from now, and 4 days when this is up.
On, June the 7th...
Yeah, there's an election coming up.
Pretty big day. It's the election day. It's election day. PSA, just real quick, before we go, as I was saying. Please vote if you live in the province of Ontario, even if you think that the thing you're going to vote for is going to win or lose or something. Vote anyways, because just in case, we need those votes.
You still need to cast them.
Yeah.
Even if you live in, even if you're like me. Like, I live out in a riding that is very, very conservative, and it goes conservative almost every election. I'm not voting conservative, I can tell you guys that much. I'll be pretty honest about that. I'm still voting, because even though it might not end up being on the winning side, it's very, very important that we still vote, because you know what, we've got the right, so... I would say use it, because people literally go out and die every single day trying to fight for that. So, just our little sidebar at the beginning is, hey, that's coming up. Go vote, even if even if you don't think it matters or whatever, or even if you hate all the candidates, vote for somebody.
Who do you think?
Even write in a candidate. It doesn't matter. Just use your right.
Use it or lose it.
Well, you didn't vote. You're gone. You never get to vote. You never get to vote again.
Nope.
Yeah. That's just, we wanted to say that, I guess, at the beginning of this episode. I mean, if you want to actually, talk about that, we can do that. Because we don't really have an episode plan.
Sure, let's talk about politics. Let's get heavy for...
Why not? Fucking why not? Let's do it.
Any and all politics. So Venezuela.
Yeah, so Venezuela. It's bad. It's bad times what's going on down there. I don't know. We can talk about that, the Ontario election, if you want to. I don't really care.
Sure. We'll probably just go into anything that is with politics. I guess Ontario, Canada, U.S. Something anywhere.
Yeah.
U.S. is funny.
Yeah. The fucking timeline that we live in is astonishing. With new prison reform advisor to the president, Kim Kardashian. You fucking kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. I saw that on Twitter. I was like, wow, that exists, huh? That's a real, actual tweet from the president. Gee, fucking Willikers, am I ever happy we live in this timeline?
The darkest timeline. Actually, no, it's probably not the darkest timeline.
No, this is where you realize, like, God abandoned us a long time ago.
He accidentally ate one too many orders of Taco Bell and was in the toilet for way too long and forgot to pay attention. Forgot to pause the game.
And everything has just turned to shit. Yeah, it's not great. It's really not great with the U.S. But hey, I mean, we did, to be fair, and by we I mean the Ontario Conservatives, did select a not much better candidate in Doug Ford.
Hey, what's your platform?
I'm not Kathleen Wynne, and also cheap beer. It's 5 days before the election. There's no real platform out. There's no fully costed platform out, even though that's been promised for like 3 months.
It's also kind of bad that when you watch an advertisement for one of your candidates, that the opening line is, "I know you don't like me."
Yeah, that's not really a vote of confidence in yourself. Is I know you don't like me.
Like, I've seen YouTube ads in which it's like, "I know you don't like me. Then get off my screen now."
I know you don't like me. You damn got that. You got that right. Like, thank you. Anything else you would like to say? I know you don't like me, but the sky is blue. Both of those are facts. Thank you.
And what you get, like,
it's pretty bad when you lose your own endorsement. Like, it's bad that 5 days before the election, you concede the election.
Like, there's this Beaverton article that says, Kathleen Wynne loses Kathleen Wynne endorsement. Okay, but where's the parody in that? Where's the satire?
Yeah, that's the thing, is that's actually what happened. It's like, you go ahead and concede the election before before the votes are cast. Like, you're not doing too hot if that's how badly or how poorly you're projected to do.
I thought the Beaverton was supposed to be a Canadian onion, but I don't see where the satire is.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It really is pretty bad. Which sucks because I mean, number one, obviously, like, the Liberals have been in power for a long time, like 14, 15 years, so probably it's time to change things, but in my opinion, not to Doug Ford. I don't think it's not smart. For any of you who are listening from outside of Ontario and don't know who Doug Ford is, he's the brother of former crack-smoking mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford, who you may have seen in the video of Mayor of Toronto smoking crack.
There's also this video that's kind of funny in which he was playing catch with some high school student or something like that, tried to catch a football, fell backwards.
I've seen that video, it's pretty good. Yeah,
he was that part of the video, the part of him falling down is actually in a Korn music video.
I see. Now, Doug Ford, however, is not just the goofy crack-smoking mayor of Toronto that Rob Ford was, which is... It's unfortunate that being the brother who's addicted to crack is not the worst Ford brother. The standards that we've set are very high for what we want politicians to be. Obviously, as I mentioned, and as you can tell, I'm not a big fan of Doug Ford. I mean, I'm not a fan of most Conservative candidates, personally. That's where I lie. But as far as politics are concerned, but that's fine, because, everybody, like, can do their thing.
Everyone. Okay. I actually had to Google who that was.
Oh, yeah. You had to straight up Google. That's how sad the Ontario Green Party is. It's like, who's their leader again? I don't fucking know. Google it.
Mike Schreiner.
Yeah, Mike Schreiner.
Schreiner.
I think. Yeah. He's from Guelph. So that's like literally his riding is like 30 minutes away from us, and we have no idea who this guy is.
Like, I literally just had to go, like, wait a second, who's the Green Party leader for it?
Yeah, so that's pretty sad. But hey, I mean, if you want to vote for the Green Party, then still vote for the Green Party. That works. It works. It's a vote. Truth be told, I mean, we picked, like, we got three. I'm gonna say three because, like, who gives a shit about the Green Party?
Or any other party that there is.
Okay, yeah, like the Libertarian Party and all that stuff. Who gives a shit about them?
Or the none of the above party.
I mean, they still exist, and like, you know,
Some people
if you still want to vote for them, vote for them, and like, hey, if you want to vote Green, then they're probably going to get some seats in this election.
But this isn't an actual thing. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways,
None of the above.
What?
.ca NOTA.ca is an actual thing.
Okay.
I've seen actual
Yeah.
things from.
As I was gonna say, we've got three pretty well piss poor candidates, for the major parties that are running, in this election. Obviously, one is Kathleen Wynne, the current premier, who we were obviously talking about having conceded the election like 5 days before it happens. Who, honestly, did some pretty good things, because minimum wage in our province is now $14 an hour, and in January may go up to 15 depending on who gets in power. We'll see what happens with whatever new administration comes in, but come January 2019, it's supposed to go up to $15 an hour. But so that's pretty good, because minimum wage is now, like, you can actually survive on minimum wage, if you are in that position where you need to. That's one of the big policies. The other one, so Ontario and all of Canada has universal health care. Communism, I know. Yeah. Obviously, I understand that's communism to a lot of Republicans. However, that got extended as far as prescriptions are concerned with this new OHIP Plus, because OHIP is Ontario's, like, healthcare plan, which made prescriptions free for everybody who is under 25 and over 65.
What was it stand for? Ontario Health Investment Plan?
I think so, yeah. For most prescriptions are free for people who are under 25 or over 65, which I think is really good.
Yeah, but I think there's a couple of higher end ones in which you're like...
Yeah, there are some that aren't, but most prescriptions are now free. A lot of more low-income families get more money from OSAP, which is the Ontario Student Assistance Plan, or program, rather. Basically, student loans. You get loans and grants, and a lot of low-income, like, students coming from low-income families get a ton of grant money. So that's huge, and I mean, I'll be honest, I personally saw the benefits from that, because I am now able... I had to have a serious debate of what school I was going to pick to go to coming in September, and a lot of that had to do with the money, and had to do, doing stuff with OSAP. I got enough, I got enough in grants that I was able to choose the school that I wanted to go to. I had the grades to get into any school I wanted, and so I was able to actually make the decision for where I wanted to go because of that policy. Because, they've now for more families are now getting, like, more students are getting grant money and being able to go to post-secondary education, which I think is, it's huge. That's the future of this, this province and this country. So I don't think you should be held back by the amount of money that your parents make. Education isn't just for the rich, it's for everybody. And I think if you want to go after something, if you want to chase whatever dream you have that that involves post-secondary education, you shouldn't be held back by the money. It's like if you choose, if you don't want to, like, outside of high school, if you come out of high school or whatever and you decide you don't want to do anything, then you don't have to do anything as far as like post-secondary is concerned, but I don't believe you should be held back by the money. So I think like that's one of the better policies. So, and also unemployment is like super low. So I know a lot of people are going, okay, so what's the big problem here with the Liberals? It sounds like they're doing a lot of good stuff. Hydro One, which is Ontario's hydro company, is now a private institution because the Liberals basically were like, shit, we need money. And so they sold a majority share of Hydro One to a private company, which really pissed everybody off because hydro bills are really, really expensive now in this province, and that needs to change. Like, there's unfortunately, because a lot of it is now partially, like, because I believe over 50% of Hydro One is now private. It's hard to make a bunch of changes on the part of a politician, but you can put pressure and stuff like that, and you can really, there's some stuff that can still be done, but not a lot of it, unfortunately. And that along with the fact that, like I mentioned, the Liberals have been in power for a decade and a half now. It's like a lot of people want to change, and I think it changes. It is a good thing to make that change, because I mean a lot of people are sick and tired of the Liberal provincial government. So, you look like you're gonna say something.
Probably, but I think I was.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean that's the Liberals, which are, like I said, I mean they're sort of they're left of center on the political sort of compass, but not as left wing as the NDP, the New Democratic Party,
which is only a bit more left more, yes.
They're socialists.
Yeah, but
so I know that's a curse word to all of our American listeners. I know that socialist is like pretty spooky.
Socialist and communist are the same thing.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah. In before socialism and communism were the same thing. Yeah. Which, by the way, please, dear God, vote Bernie for president. That would be great. Thank you, America, if you could do that.
Guy Fieri 2020.
Or Biden. Either or.
Or both.
Honestly, how great would that be? Biden as president with Bernie as his vice president, because I just don't feel like it would be okay to be like, hey Joe Biden, you want to be vice president again? 4 more years of Biden memes, please. Be great.
Obama's just in the background. But you were mine.
Dude, what's funny is there's nothing that is stopping Biden from picking Barack Obama as his presidential running mate if he ran in 2020 and secured the Democratic nomination. So you could have Biden and Obama back in the White House. So that's pretty fucking great to think about.
Please, can that happen?
That would be so good. But anyways, as I said, the NDP are basically their goal is take what the Liberals have already done and like extend on it and do more with it, which a lot of like people are scared of, because that would involve spending money on a lot of programs, which rich people are pretty freaking scared of, because that means their taxes are going to go up.
Which I think they should anyway.
Absolutely they should. And uneducated people are afraid that They're just going to go, well, our taxes are going to go up. They're going to raise the taxes through the roof. No, they're not. The wealthy and big corporations are going to be forced to pay more because
They can afford to pay more.
they can afford to pay more, and they should. Like, if you're making stupid amounts of money every year, where you're like, all these big CEOs are, they'll make whatever $10 million a year, probably significantly more than that, but there's a whatever number. You can afford to live off of less than that. Like, forgive me for assuming that if you make, stupid amounts of money, that your fifth vacation home in Fiji is more, or is, is more significant than somebody being able to go to school, or somebody being able to afford food and afford to keep the lights on. Because there are people, that they struggle to pay, or they have to make the decision between, do I eat or do I pay my hydro bill? That shit's not cool, like, at all. So when you have to make that decision, rather than being able to go, oh, where do I want to buy my next vacation home? Do I want to buy it in Fiji, or do I want to buy it in New Zealand, or whatever? Like, not cool. So, the wealthy are going to have to pay more in taxes with the NDP in, and yes, they're going to spend money. They are, because if you want to increase the way that the government is able to do things, and you want to go through with the platforms the NDP have, it's going to cost money. But so it's things like making prescriptions free for everyone, not just under 25, over 65. It's doing stuff like it's making dental care now covered by OHIP, which it should be, because really, like, you oh, that'll be $350. You brushed my teeth. Like, what are you talking about? You brushed my teeth.
Oh, and you poked my gums. Don't.
Yeah. You made my gums bleed. As you're like, it's because you don't floss. It's because you're poking me with a stick. You're poking me with a big metal stick here, Doc.
You shoved a sword into my left.
Yeah, you took a little sword and poked me with it. That's why my gums are bleeding. Or when they're like, when was the last time you flossed? Dude, you were literally there. How do you not remember this? Yeah, but no, dental care should be covered, because
Especially
ask any. Yeah. But no, it's like, dental health is super significant to regular physical health. Why is that not going to be covered? Because it shouldn't be like, oh, yeah, you can go to the dentist, but if you're rich, it's stuff like that. More people see more benefit from grant money to go to school. It's stuff like that. It's trying to make a significant change, and continue and push this province into the future, and support everybody who wants to do what they want to do for the future of this province, rather than try and push it back in time, and decide that, hey, education's not important, the environment's not important, being like it. And that's essentially the Doug Ford-led Conservative platform. And it's honestly, like, what I find really funny about this whole situation is that the Conservatives had this election in the bag. This was going to be a wave election for the Conservatives if they had selected a candidate who was not Doug Ford. Like, yeah, if they had chosen Christine Elliott, who was still conservative, obviously, hence why she's running for the Conservative leadership. So, I mean, I disagreed with Christine Elliott's policies, but she had policies, and she was a very strong candidate who though I would have, like I said, though I would have disagreed with her politically, she still would be the premier, and I would still say, you know what, do what you feel is right, do what you feel is best for the province. And she was a very, very strong candidate who, if the Conservatives had pulled their heads out of their asses and taken, like, if they had any semblance of regular human intelligence, they would have selected Christine Elliott instead of Doug Ford. But obviously they didn't.
Imagine if Kevin O'Leary stayed in the race and got it.
No, Kevin O'Leary was running for the federal Conservative leadership.
No, but just imagine if he got
and
that.
He lost. Yeah, great.
And imagine him going all the way through and winning.
He wouldn't win.
Just imagine if he did.
I don't want to. I don't want to subject myself to the thoughts of Kevin O'Leary meeting with President Trump. How awful can this world be?
North America would become Dragon's Den 2.0. Oh, sorry, 3.0 because Shark's Tank.
I would think that instead of that, literally I would ask for North Korea to nuke the shit out of us if that was the case. But yeah, to move into the Conservative platform. Doug Ford. Jesus fucking Christ, man. What the hell is going on in this world? So, Doug Ford's most significant political career is being a city councillor for Toronto. That is his qualifications. Being a city councillor and the brother of crack-smoking mayor of Toronto, Rob Ford.
Sounds like a good one for me.
Yep, absolutely. So Doug Ford is an idiot, first of all, who has chosen that the best way he can win an election is to take pages out of the Trump playbook. Yay. So what I mean by that is making ridiculous promises with no plan to actually enforce them and saying, only I can stop what's going on, when you can't. He's made the decision that, hey, guess what? Yeah, I'm going to stop this hydro sell-off. I'm going to change things. I'm going to fire the CEO of Hydro One. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the other thing. It's a private company. So, in short, no, you're fucking not. No, you're not. You can suggest that the board of directors do that, but it's a suggestion. So, good luck with that.
I saw this one meme about Doug Ford.
Is this going to be the Greenbelt one?
Greenbelt.
Oh, God.
The Greenbelt exists. Doug Ford. It's free real estate.
It's free real estate. Yeah, great. Thank you for, yeah. Basically, though, it's like, I have an idea. A little thought about how to tell if you should vote for Doug Ford or not. Do you like women's rights? No. Okay. Do you, like, if you thought, it's like, do you like women's rights? Yes. Okay. Do you like the environment? Yes. Do you like education? Yes. Do you like healthcare? Yes. Then don't vote for Doug Ford. If you answered no to all of these, you're probably Doug Ford. Like, or you're a Trump supporter.
Or both.
Yeah, basically. Doug Ford's most significant campaign promise so far is buck a beer. So, basically, 24 case of beer is going to cost you $24. Yeah. Because when all else fails, distract the minions with beer. Take everybody that, just go, hey, free booze instead of, or cheap booze instead of real, actual campaign policies. As I said, it is June 2nd. The election is on June 7th. Doug Ford has yet to release a platform. He has yet to release a costed platform for what he plans to do if he's elected premier.
It's a good sign. It's a good sign.
Preparation.
I know what I'm doing, don't worry.
Yeah, this isn't just me walking into a test in high school where I'm like, hey man, whatever, I didn't do any studying, let's pass this thing. You can't just wing it when you're elected premier of a province.
Can't even do that with, like, a mayor of a town.
Yeah, you can't wing it as a city councilor. I'm not even talking mayor. I'm talking city councilor. I couldn't friggin' wing it if I was a councilor in my town of fucking Wellesley, where there's, like, swear to God, probably 1,500 people. So, yeah, like, you can't wing it when you're in a, like, if you're in a small-ass town as a councilor, let alone if you're elected premier of a province.
Let alone the biggest
the biggest province in the country. Population-wise, it's biggest. I know Quebec's... Okay. Quebec is, like, bigger, as far as, like, geography is concerned, but, like, population-wise, it's Ontario is the most populated, like, it's the largest province as far as people is concerned. And, like, not gonna lie, pretty well runs the damn country. Or very damn near, like, nearly does it. Ontario's a pretty significant province. So you can't really just come in winging it with your main policy being, I'm not Kathleen Wynne, and also cheap beer.
You may not like me, but... No.
Yeah. Well, it's like, the math has led to, hey nurses, doctors, you know how you, like, do a really, really fucking significant job? And, you know, literally save people's lives every single day? Fuck off, I'm cutting 40,000 jobs from the healthcare industry.
None of this is paid by anyone. Just to let you know, this is all us.
No, this is all just this is all just actually my own opinions. Like, this is anything context, I suppose it's good to do that. We're going to be fully open about pretty well everything. You know, there's nothing that we're going to hide from you guys, as far as, like, what we're doing for the shows, what we're doing with everything. It's all going to be open and honest. And I'm going to say that if we are paid or given any benefits to promote or talk about something, we're going to be open and honest. It's going to include in the descriptions of the videos a disclaimer. We're going to have it all, like, checked, because YouTube allows you to do that, where it says that, hey, there's a paid endorsement in this video. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna outright say at the top of the video or at the top of the sponsor spot, this episode is sponsored by, or this, whatever is brought to you by XYZ company.
Love that company.
Huh?
Love that company.
It's
XYZ.
like, yeah, whatever company or whatever organization or product is sponsoring / bringing the video out. We're gonna be honest about that, because there's, no point in lying about it, and it's technically illegal to do so anyways. So I'm just not gonna do that. Like, we're just gonna be honest. And it just comes down to everything as far as the shows are concerned, where we're gonna just be open about it and discuss, hey, this is what's going on. This is whatever. So if something comes up that we want to talk about or need to talk about, we're just going to do that. So, yeah, that's that. I just want to, I'm just sharing my own personal beliefs as far as talking about the politics is concerned. So that's where I land. It's not about, it's not paid for or whatever by anybody else. So just want to, I guess we should put that out there. Yeah, obviously not being paid to, tell you guys to vote, just saying.
No, this is all just like a PSA type thing. Like, hey, well, say.
Well, the beginning was, and then everything past that is sort of our opinions that we wanted to share on wherever we're at with everything. So, Yeah. I suppose that being said, if any of the listeners are, if you guys run, companies or whatever, or have products that you want promoted or anything like that, if you feel like, you know, sponsoring us or whatever, then you can sort of do that. Like, if you feel like, hey, do what you gotta, like, if you feel like we're worth, sponsoring or whatever, then you can reach out to us via Twitter or whatever. That would probably be the best way to reach us, and then we can work something out. But outside of that, yeah. What are we looking at?
No, I'm just
here?
looking this is the U.S. primaries, because I was wondering if these things are still going on or not.
Oh yeah, they're going on.
Yeah,
they're huge.
Those are the things still going on. This is
June 5th. June
5th.
5th is huge. That's Super Tuesday, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Super Tuesday. Yeah, no, June 5th is Super Tuesday for all the primaries.
So there's voting going on, right? Like is that public voting?
Yeah. They're primaries are for the registered members of each each party. So
So if you are in any of the following states, don't forget to vote, I guess.
if you're registered for, like, if you're a registered voter in any state, do it. Anywhere you want to vote, just friggin' vote. It's important. Please don't fuck up, because the only vote that doesn't count is the one you don't cast. Because by not voting, you're gonna number one. I have the idea that if you don't vote, don't bitch about the government, because you didn't enact your right to choose your government. So I would say maybe don't. Maybe don't bitch if you didn't vote.
So on June 5th, the states that have the primaries is California, Mississippi, Alabama, Iowa, Montana, Jersey, and New Mexico. And South Dakota.
South Dakota exists too. Let's not forget about that. There's a lot of, there's still a bunch of states that need to vote. And they're important.
The 12th, the 19th, the 26th,
yeah,
30th,
but
the 17th.
The most important one is obviously coming up in November. Because that's when the midterms are.
November 6th.
Yeah, November 6th is the general election. As far as all the Senate seats and House seats are concerned that are up for re-election this coming November for the midterms. I would say, vote for whoever you're going to vote for. Whatever you'd like to do, whoever you feel is the best choice. My opinion would be, please, dear God, vote Democrat, because don't let Trump do what he's going to do. Because I personally, I like not being nuked out of existence by North Korea. So
that's a good thing.
That is a very nice thing.
I like not being in Fallout. That's good.
Yeah, that's my. I love Fallout,
but I wouldn't want to.
But I don't want to live in that world. No, that's the thing. That's my as a Canadian, because I'm gonna say, please just make sure you just don't let us get nuked, please, because
also another thing,
and us specifically, we're like an hour and a half from the border.
Maybe, yeah.
So they're still gonna
hit us.
Yeah, we're still gonna get hit here. So
and another thing, since we're Canadian, don't fuck up NAFTA. That's the thing.
Oh yeah, please don't do that. Also, those steel tariffs I think are hilarious. I actually find them to be really, really funny, because it's I guess I'll talk about that, because Trump recently removed the exemption on Canada, Mexico, and a bunch of countries in the European Union from his ridiculously stupid steel tariffs, where he wants to put about a 25% tariff on steel and a 13% tariff on aluminum. it's so funny. It's so funny because literally 7 million American jobs are reliant on Canadian steel.
Was it? This is at 25% on imported steel and 10%
Yeah.
on aluminum. Oh, as the English say, aluminium for some reason.
Those people are wrong.
Where's
Your
the second
people are wrong, Matthew.
Where's the second I? Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
To be fair, I suppose we say a boot.
A boot.
Yeah. Anyways, obviously, like I
A.
said, yeah, those tariffs are fucking stupid. Because, like, I mean, really, you're gonna try and put a 25% tariff on something you can't produce, like. So you do like, great. As if Detroit needed to be any shittier. Now you're losing anything that's left of the auto industry because Canada's just going to go, we're just not going to ship you steel. I hope you like those 7 million jobs that are going to disappear because of that.
It's like saying to Canada, you know what, we're going to tariff the oil. Or something. Like, something.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
China putting a massive tariff on all the oil we send them. I mean, I suppose the only time that I actually will agree with Donald Trump is like, stop shipping all our shit to China, please. Please, and by that I mean mostly oil, because it means, number one, our gas prices are stupid, and when you drive a truck at $1.40 a liter, that's pretty fucking garbage. I hate that.
I remember a time when it was worth like 80 cents
Yeah.
or something. About 10 years ago.
Honestly, it's pretty shitty. But anyways, that's so there's that. But more importantly, fucking pipelines get built because of it. Now, for everybody who doesn't know, pipelines are fucking garbage. Literally one of the worst things you can possibly do is build an oil pipeline. Because it will leak and destroy the environment. Pulling out the oil will destroy the environment anyways. Like, mining for oil is going to destroy the environment. We don't have very much oil left, frankly, anyways. Yeah, so the environment gets... Yeah, fuck off, you're losing the environment. Hope you enjoyed having clean air and not completely contaminated water. Hope you enjoy that.
Thank you, dinosaurs, for serving us well.
Yeah, thanks, dinos. Very important. But basically, it's like, so the environment gets fucked over. And then also, hey, you know how we could be not total assholes to a bunch of people?
That we're already assholes to.
Yeah, that we're literally the worst in the fucking world to. I mean, instead of that, we're just gonna force these ridiculously bad oil pipelines through sacred indigenous lands and just say, hey, get fucked. Hope you liked having clean water if you were lucky enough to have had clean water before. Yeah, pipelines are really, really excellent. And Mr. I love indigenous people, Justin Trudeau, yeah, here's your fucking Kinder Morgan pipeline that you're going to use the Indian Act to force through indigenous lands. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yay.
Gotta love that. Just a reminder to everybody, there is no race problem in Canada at all. We are a great cultural mosaic who have never had any issues with any people or done any bad or racist shit in our entire lives. That's a lie.
Hey, you look a little cold. You want a blanket?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a blatant ass lie. Oh, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not cool what we did and continue to do to the people that we stepped in here and stole the land from. Nicely done. Nicely done, ancestors. So, there's that. Yeah. Fucking pipelines. Pretty bad. Not recommended. So, I would say don't do that. But anyways, yeah, basically just stop with the whole stop with the whole like we're gonna do a bunch of stupid shit. Yeah. Basically, this whole thing is kind of like just bitching about.
Let's see what this pulls up.
Oh yeah.
United States presidential election 2020. Nominations. Let's see what's here.
Yeah.
Okay, I read that as failure.
Basically.
Oh, okay. Vote for Brad Thor just because of his last name.
No. Here. So, basically, I guess I'm going to. What? Okay.
I don't know what I'm
God. So basically, this entire like, it's pretty scary to think about what's gonna go on in the whole U.S. election in 2020, because that's obviously still 2 years away.
2 years away can be a while. It can be really quick. My bad.
Yeah. So Donald Trump is he's likely the Republican nominee. I say that because if he survives to this, like, if he manages to survive this whole Mueller investigation into 2020, he will be selected as the nominee for the Republican Party. I don't know why it took me so long to say that. Because you won't go against, like, or rather, people won't, or the electors for the Republicans are going to select the incumbent president. They've never gone against that, at all. So that's pretty important. Like, he's going to be the candidate. The Republican candidate is going to be Donald Trump. And then as far as like all the as far as the Democrats are concerned, it's an open shot. Basically, I'm gonna say it's a two-dog race. Right now, between two candidates who have not declared that they're running. Candidate number one is former Vice President Joe Biden, who is
individuals who have publicly expressed interest. Joe Biden.
Yeah, publicly expressed interest.
Yeah.
Biden has not said like, oh, he's going to run. I just wouldn't be surprised. I don't be surprised if he does. Basically, I'm thinking like there's two sort of likely candidates.
I've declined to run. Okay.
Oh, good. Thank God that Hillary has declined to run, because that's the best thing that she could have done for the entire for the.
Oh, Michelle also declined.
Well, yeah, she's not interested in politics. But basically, it's
declared candidates for the Libertarian Party. Vermin Supreme.
Oh my!
Out of Maryland too.
He has run 1992, 1996, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2016. Candidate for mayor of Detroit in 1989, and candidate for mayor of Baltimore in 1987. Vermin Supreme, ladies and gentlemen.
Vote him, please, if you live in the States.
Do not vote Vermin Supreme. But yeah, basically, as far as the Democrats are concerned, it's going to be either Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders. Both of whom are excellent, so. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Vote Kanye, actually.
Right. Kanye West. Good lordy. I am pretty afraid. Yeah.
Decline to run, Bonnie. What?
Weird. No, anyways, basically, I think he's declined to run because, like, for Bernie, the reason he's declined to run so far for president is because you can't afford, like, he can't afford to potentially lose his Senate seat in Vermont. I mean, it's pretty, like, it's safely in the Bernie Sanders category as an independent, but if he's stressed out and focused about working on a presidential run, he needs to decline to run so far because his seat is up for re-election in the midterms this year, and for that reason he needs to sort of decline to go, oh yeah, I'm focused on the Senate run right now, and it's for that reason that he needs to yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, I'm gonna tell you that I think that Bernie is likely going to declare to run for president in 2020. And I think he should because, I mean, I really like Bernie Sanders. Anyways, yeah, like I think it's going to be between Biden and Bernie Sanders for the nominee for the Democrats. I would say I don't know who I think would win that. It would be really, really difficult. Like, it would be a very hard-fought road, and it's unfortunate because I think it could potentially it would really split the Democratic Party if whoever won between those two. I would say that they should select the other as their primary or as their vice presidential running mate, because that's the way to reunite the Democratic Party, which would definitely be split between those two because they're both powerhouse candidates and are absolutely excellent. Like they're both fantastic candidates, and so I would highly recommend either of them, frankly. Yeah. Politics.
Why does John Kerry look like someone you'd like accidentally make in some sort of character creation? Because he is way too square of a jaw. He's like a mix between a triangle and a square. If that makes any sense.
We're just roasting John Kerry now.
I don't. That's what he looks like, man.
You literally have 2 pictures away, pedo stash Eric Holder, and we're gonna go after John Kerry.
I don't know. His hair, mustache, and different colors. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry.
I think we're pretty well good on this episode. Yeah. Good Lord, this is just gotten ridiculous.
I'm sorry, John Kerry, if you're listening. Probably not, but you know.
He's definitely not listening. I think John Kerry's pretty great. So, I mean, would recommend. Like, I mean, if like, I mean, you did technically lose to George W. Bush in 2004. So, like, I mean, less than ideal track record in presidential elections, but yeah, no, I mean, my biggest fear is like Hillary's gonna come out of nowhere and just go, hey, guess what, I'm gonna run. Like, please don't, please, dear God, don't. You lost to the worst candidate in the entire history of the United States, at least for president. It's like you literally they could not have handed the Democrats another term any more effectively than they did. It's like, honestly, to think about it, like, to come back to that, to come back to the Ontario election for a minute, basically, the Democrats had a third term handed to them if they select a candidate who is not Hillary Clinton. Like, they had a third straight term in office handed to them on a silver platter with Donald Trump being the presidential nominee if they selected literally any other person except for Hillary Clinton. And they just went, no, we're going to be stupid. And instead of picking, you know, the guy that we should pick, Bernie, They were like, let's pick the establishment candidate. As everybody bitches about the establishment candidates, they get all fucking kind of sketchy and potentially cheating to select Hillary Clinton, because by picking an establishment candidate with a questionable track record, you're really gonna make people want to vote for your party.
Yay, stupid decisions.
Yay, dumb decisions that literally cost potentially the future of the Republic. Nice. Nicely done. Essentially, the Conservatives did the same thing here in Ontario with their whole, if we select Christine Elliott, we're all but guaranteed to be in power.
Still probably wouldn't have voted for myself, but you know.
Oh, no, I wouldn't either. However, I wouldn't be, like, genuinely upset about it. Like, they were like, yeah, we've got this election guaranteed in the bag if we pick Christine Elliott. Yeah, Doug Ford.
Now it's kind of like a toss-up.
And now it's going to go between Doug Ford or Andrea Horwath, the NDP leader. And yeah, it's going to be
three evils at this point.
Basically, I think. I mean, the policies aren't bad from the NDP. Andrea Horwath's just kind of a shitty candidate, which, you know, not great. So, basically, I mean, I know that it wouldn't be, like, it's not great I mean, you're going to want, like, whatever party wins, you want to have a majority government, because in Canada, if you put something out and like, if the leader of the party puts something out and it doesn't pass, if you have a minority government, meaning less than 50% of the seats, if that gets put out by the premier or the prime minister in the federal election, and that doesn't pass, that is a vote of non-confidence, and it immediately causes an election to be called. So, like, the first piece of legislation the Conservatives put out, if they are elected to a minority government, the first piece of legislation they put out is immediately going to be shot down by the Liberals and NDP, and we're going to be back to the polls, and, you know, like 6 months from now, we're going to be saying, hey guys, just a reminder, the election's coming up, so please go out and vote, instead of, like, having a majority government where, outside of complete catastrophic failure within the party and the party being split, you're able to push through whatever you need to push through or want to push through, and without the threat of an election being called immediately until it's, like, actually required to call an election. So, yeah, that's pretty fun.
If I recall correctly, it's I think this is at the very least for federal, probably for provincial too, but it's like, doesn't necessarily matter if you have a majority government.
Right.
It's, you can call a election whenever, but it will automatically happen after 5 years or something.
Basically, yeah. You can call an election whenever you want. Typically, it happens after about 4.
Yeah.
Like, typical terms are about 4 years for the prime minister before they will call an election. You know, 4 or 5 years before an election gets called. And yeah, I mean, the biggest shitty thing that we've got in Canada is no term limits. So you can be elected prime minister or premier and continue to be elected until you literally die. Until you lose, like, there's no, like, you know, in the U.S., the president, you get 2 4-year terms at max. Yeah, in Canada, that's not a thing. It's like, we can literally elect, you know, Justin Trudeau for the next however many years he chooses to run and remains alive. And if you keep electing him, there's nothing that can make him not be in office, as far as, like, constitutional, like, anything is prescribed. Like, the Constitution doesn't set out a limit for how long somebody can serve as a prime minister. which I personally think there should be. Because regardless of the party, I think after, a bunch of years, it's time to be done. It is time to be done in power. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Well, I mean, if the people think they should go, then they'll vote them out anyway. So I mean,
That's fair. They will, but like I said, I just think that the issue is I don't think, in a democracy, I don't necessarily think that power should be forever. I don't think you should be allowed to be, I don't think you should be the prime minister for, 15, 20 years or whatever. That's just me.
But then again, on the other hand, it is democracy, and if the people want it,
that's
what
fair.
the people want.
That's fair. Like that. I mean, no, I agree with you. It is entirely fair for that. But Canada's pretty far from a democracy as far as our whole system is concerned. Considering that the most powerful person in this country doesn't live in this country, and is literally born into the job across the sea in England.
Well, she's as of right now just kind of a figurehead. It's like this.
No, she's the head of state.
I know, but she doesn't really do anything. It's the person that is here who.
Well, the Governor General.
Governor
yes.
General is one that does stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it's in the name of who.
Yeah, but that's the thing is basically the Governor General, who our current one is a fucking astronaut and is actually super cool, but like regardless of the fact that she's super cool, she's still appointed to the office. And that's not great because, I mean, that's not how democracy works. You don't get, you shouldn't just be appointed to be literally more powerful than the Prime Minister. Where they're just, literally the Governor General can decide, no, this doesn't get passed. Whatever bill it is, they can just go, yeah, not passed. Get out. Because that's how they get to do things. And the Senate is, unlike the U.S., not elected, but appointed, again, by the Prime Minister. So they can also block things from passing. They can also block bills from going on, which unfortunately some senators are trying to do right now with the whole legalization of marijuana thing. And I think that's ridiculous too, because it's like people in this country selected somebody who made that a policy for them and said, this is what we're going to do. And it's passed it's passed the House. It's passed the House of Commons and is now in the Senate. And senators are attempting to block the legislation from going through, even though they are appointed, not elected. I mean, if you ask me, I would abolish the Senate, actually. I would just say, you're...
Not with whom?
No, gone. I would scrap the Senate entirely. Because they provide nothing. They are not democratically elected. There are craploads of scandals that come out of them. And frankly, they are, they just don't provide any, they provide no benefit. They just take millions of dollars of taxpayer money to go to doing very little, if any, actual work. And sometimes, like in this case, attempt to block legislation that passes, or that, that the people of this country want and have passed through their representatives in Parliament and are now awaiting a signature, rather than, if the Senate was elected, I would have no problem with it. But if they're appointed, that's not cool, and that's not democracy to me. So I'd scrap it, personally. I would say, gone. If we want to continue with this sort of system, the Senate needs to go. I would also like to see the Prime Minister be elected and be elected by popular vote. Because the way our system works is there are however many seats in the House of Commons, 300 and some odd. It's 300 and, I want to say 38.
Let's just Canadian. Let's see, actually spelled correctly.
Yeah, anyways, so there's a bunch, like I said, I think 300 and...
Commons.
336 seats or 338 seats? 338, I was right.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are 338 seats, different ridings throughout throughout whatever. Throughout the country, and they are allowed to, they are each selected by whatever vote, by the same standard voting system. And unfortunately, whoever gets the most votes in that riding wins. Pretty simple. Same as, most systems where it's like, okay, we selected, however many people selected whatever candidate, therefore that candidate wins. If it's more than 50%, it's more than 50%. If it's less than 50%, but more than all the other candidates, then that person still wins. Basically, those people are then elected. But the only way you can directly, like our Prime Minister is obviously Justin Trudeau. The only way you can check Justin Trudeau's name off on your ballot if you're voting in a federal election is if you live in his Montreal riding. If you live in your standard, like if you live in any other riding than that, you don't get to check Justin Trudeau. You get to check whatever your Liberal candidate in your riding is, which I don't think is necessarily fair. Because it's like, if we're selecting who's supposed to be the leader of the country, I would like to see that leader's name appear whether you're in Iqaluit or whether you're in Victoria, BC, or Halifax. Like, wherever you are, you should still be able to select your candidate. And I think that also makes it a lot more fair, because otherwise, like I said, I live in a conservative riding. My member of parliament is Harold Albrecht, who is a fucking asshole.
Also, it kind of makes sense. Like, what if you like the leader of said party, but don't like the person who's riding for that
who's
party?
running in your riding? Yeah, so you can choose that. Or if you're like, or if you're in the position where I am, my riding is going to go conservative. That's what it does. It goes conservative every election. And you are a liberal person like myself, who would vote, more left wing. I still want to, my vote should still count for who the Prime Minister is going to be, not for, because it's like, you should see, here are the candidates for Prime Minister. Please select one. And the winner of the country's vote should be the Prime Minister. Not a back-ass system like the U.S. Electoral College or our, hey, whatever party gets the most seats in the House of Commons, the leader of that party is now Prime Minister. No, maybe select them directly and decide who you want to lead your country. That's kind of the purpose of democracy, is people get to choose their leader, not people get to choose a bunch of people who then they decide who they want to lead the country. That's an oligarchy. And we want, if we want to have a real democracy, I would say it's time to actually change things. This is what happens when you allow somebody who's going to major in political science to talk about politics.
It was the first thing that came to our heads. So I mean,
that's fair. I'm pretty well good. If you want to wrap it up, or if you want to end the episode, then
Trump is orange.
Thank you, Matt. That's fair. That is a fair assertion. So I guess if you want to end the episode, then let's wrap that. Let's wrap it up. All the standard stuff. Follow the Twitters. At TrevartMC, at Curtis Smitty. Same thing as always. Subscribe and all that type of stuff. Share the videos, please. That would be great if you enjoy. If you want to, like I said, if you want to share this with your friends, if you think they'd enjoy it, then feel free to do so.
Also, don't forget to pay attention to our new podcast series that's coming out later today and for a while now.
Yeah, for the future. We've got obviously the new show, the Blast from the Past cast, is coming out tomorrow. First episode is
today.
Or today rather. Yeah, sorry. Tomorrow as we record this. Today as this is posted, it comes out in a couple of hours. It's a fun one. It's on Egyptian mythology, and then next week we start on ancient Egypt. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in history, or somebody who is interested in history that you think would enjoy the show, then you can obviously show them that and have them listen to it. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. We did all the social media things, so yeah.
This has been the Useless Ideas Podcast. Thank you for listening.
See you later.
Take care.